Hi YouTube, this is Jeremy again. I'm doing a review on the AVH-X4500BT by Pioneer. It's a 2013 model head unit. I've also got the AVIC-U250 GPS edition and the backup camera edition. So I'll go ahead and fire everything up here. The head unit's pretty quick to start, pretty responsive as well, as long as you're doing certain things. Right now, as you can see, I've got it off and it's attempting to pair with my Bluetooth, which I've got my Bluetooth on my phone turned off because I had issues with it the last time I tried to do this recording. It kept trying to play music and all kinds of junk. Auto connection failed, retry. I'm going to press no. Normally, as long as your Bluetooth is on, it connects relatively fast, maybe 4 or 5 seconds it'll take to connect. I'm going to go ahead and turn the unit on. Once you press the drop down menu, you've got your radio, disc if you have a disc inserted, or DVD if you have a DVD inserted, USB and iPod. Right now I've got the USB strictly just to charge my iPod. I've got an older iPod mini that does not have all the capabilities to function with the head unit. Pandora I use through Bluetooth, or you can use it wired as well. Bluetooth audio, of course, is self-explanatory, and then your auxiliary input, which is the input that I'm using for my iPod. I'm going to go ahead and click on radio here. It's going to bring up, you've got 18 presets available. I've only got the first 6 sets so far. You got all your options on the left. If you click this little arrow to bring everything out, it'll show the name of the song, it'll give the artist, then it shows the name of the radio station. Each station has the exact same thing, all the presets except for this one. It's some garbage station that they play decent music on it, but whatever. There's 6 different presets on 3 different bands. You got your FM2, these I haven't preset to anything, and then FM3, these I haven't preset to anything, as well as AM, which I haven't preset to anything either. We'll go back to FM1. As you can see, the head unit is pretty fast at responding between, just as fast as a regular head unit would. All the touch buttons work accurately and quickly. Hit this arrow here to bring everything back. You've got your frequency you're set to setting up here. Name of the station up at the top as well. It'll also give you the name of the station in some cases, and whether an artist is playing there, it'll show the artist name and the name of the song. In the top right corner, you got your clock. Underneath there, you've got your Bluetooth settings. Right now, I've got my Bluetooth disabled on my phone. The head unit is no longer looking for it. I'm going to exit out of there. There's a search option, which I'll show you in a little bit. Custom EQ, you can set it to super bass, powerful mode. The powerful sounds pretty good, but the speakers that I've still got to fine tune everything before I can actually start running them a little harder. Natural, vocal, flat. Custom 2 is at flat right now because I haven't made any changes. Custom 1 is where I prefer to have everything right now, and I listen to hip-hop, R&B, and rock. We'll go back again to the main screen. You've got favorites down here. I haven't set up anything in my favorites yet, but I did toy around with it. You can just press on an option that you choose regularly. Like if you had, go to settings here, all these different inputs, you can put a star next to them, and then every time you're on the home screen, you hit the star. It'll bring up whatever that option is. I'm not sure the max number you can put into it, but in the middle of the screen, you've got your tag button for those of you with iPhones, iPads, iPods, all that stuff. It'll automatically save the information, and you can go ahead and download the song later. There's also this local button down here, or local portion of the screen. Notice as I press it each time, a little bar shows up for a total of 4. What that does is, to the right of the 97.5 there, you can see I'm going to set my phone back down so it'll focus. To the right of where it says 97.5, you'll notice there's a little satellite looking picture there above the word MHC. There's also bars. What those bars are is when the local is set to the highest setting, which is 4 bars, it won't even look at any other radio stations that have less than four bars here on the little satellite antenna. So basically you can restrict what the receiver looks for when it seeks or scans. That's basically everything for the radio option. I'm going to go to the disc option. Now this is what, right now I've got an MP3 disc in it. I have not tried a standard CD inside of it yet, so I'm not sure how quickly this responds. But as you can see, I press the button. It's, I'd say, probably 20 seconds before it reads the MP3 and then actually starts doing anything with it. Right now it's pulled up my folder option and the song that is playing on the folder, in the folder, and it gives you any information that you have programmed into the MP3 for that song. You got, of course, your shuffle and repeat song or repeat disc. One of the neat things about when you have something hooked up that has a multitude of songs or MP3s on it, there's a search button here, and this will bring up any. Let's go back to the main menu. Of course, I just named it on this disc, My Music. Click on that, and it shows all the different folders that you have inside of here. And of course, this is the first time I'd ever made an MP3. I had a bunch of other songs just thrown in there. So those are the options for the search option. Of course, your EQ again and your favorites. Next, we're going to go ahead. I have an iPod set up in the glove box, but it does not operate correctly with this because it's an iPod mini. The newer iPhones, iPhone 4 or iPhone 4S and the iPhone 5, they are all fully compatible with this, with the apps option as well. Now the iPhone 5, there's an additional adapter you have to purchase for it, but I have an Android product, so this does not support Android completely other than the Pandora and Bluetooth so far. Supposedly Android is working on an app that goes with Pioneer in order to have full functionality just like you would with an iPhone. Underneath here is Pandora. Right now I don't have my Bluetooth on, so it won't see anything, but you would click Pandora and it'll actually, device is not registered, go to Bluetooth connection menu to register. What's nice about when you're in Pandora, it pulls up just like if you're looking at your phone while it's on Pandora. It has the picture of the artist, the name of the artist, name of the album, name of the song, all that jazz. You got your play and pause button down here. You can actually slide through. And then it also, with my Android, I have the Droid Razr Max. It actually allows you to, of course, skip songs forward, not reverse, as Pandora doesn't allow, at least not on the free account. And you can actually thumbs up or thumbs down songs through the head unit as well. So you don't have to, once you set it up, you don't have to touch your phone at all, or whatever else you might be playing your Pandora through. Bluetooth audio is the same way. Right now it's saying no service because I have it disconnected. I tried making a video a little bit ago. As soon as I went into this option, it of course kicked me off of the camera. So normally it'll show up just as the Pandora does. You have the option to fast forward, pause, rewind, skip forward, skip backward for any music that is on your Bluetooth device. Last input is the auxiliary input. Right now I don't have anything, or I've got my iPod hooked up to it in the glove box. And what I did was I ran the USB cable from the device into the bottom, of course, of my iPod, my auxiliary jack from the iPod to the back of the head unit. The head unit does not have a auxiliary jack anywhere on the front. The only way you can do the auxiliary is in the back. There's also a small button down here when you're on simple screens like the auxiliary input or radio, where you hit AV change, and that's all it does. It gets rid of the background. You can set it to full screen or not full screen. We're going to go ahead and back. Some of the graphics are kind of cheesy, but in my opinion this was the least cheesy one, so I went with that. The other two options, or I'm sorry, I'm going to go over the you got a source button in the bottom left hand corner. If you press that, it just cycles through radio, disc, USB, Pandora, Bluetooth, auxiliary, and then back to whatever your first one is. There are more options. I don't have everything hooked up yet, and I don't plan on buying any Apple products anytime soon, so I probably won't be using the iPod feature. Next to the source button is provides. It's about 25 watts RMS per channel, 50 watts max per channel, 4 channels. It also has 3 4-volt pre-outs for amplifiers and such. You have your mute button next to the volume up, volume down button, and there are actually different settings you can set to the mute button. Right here is your home button. This shows all of your different inputs: radio, disc, USB, iPod, Pandora, Bluetooth, auxiliary. There's also an AV jack if you had a PlayStation 3 or whatever case you wanted to hook up to it. You can actually play through there. The apps button is compatible with the iPhone 4, iPhone 4S, and iPhone 5 with that additional cable. Rear view camera on and off, and you can actually power the head unit itself off. Go back to radio. Go back into, this is your home button. Bottom left corner is a video input. If you had an external device hooked up, you can go into there and adjust the different settings for it. Under audio, you've got all your basic fader, balance, graphic EQ. I like the graphic EQ. As I showed you before, it's got all the different settings. This was a great feature that I preferred over my stock head unit because it was a toilet. Auto EQ, there's a actual microphone you can purchase, and with the microphone you set it up behind the driver's side headrest, turn the radio on, crank it up to, I'm not sure if it gives you a volume or not, and it listens to what's going on inside the vehicle and adjusts everything for the best sound, of course, for the driver. Sonic center control, I have no idea what that is. Loudness, I've got it set to mid. There's off, low, medium, and high. Subwoofer, right now I do not have a subwoofer, so I've got the pre-out for the subwoofer turned off. Bass booster, I've got the +1. Right now I'm running Infinity Kappa 6x9s and 6.5s in the back of my Nissan Titan. High pass filter, you've got all your rough EQ settings, and basically what it's doing is it's cutting off anything below that frequency. I just set mine to off so that I can still get a decent amount of bass out of my my Kappas. And then this source level adjuster, I'm not sure what that feature is, but not a big deal to me. Next to audio, you've got your system settings. You got your auxiliary input. I've got it set to on so that I can use the iPod if I choose to. AV input, I don't have any other additional inputs right now, so I'm not using. I've got it turned off. For RG input, you've got your iPhone or you've got navigation. With that input, on the back of the head unit, there's a big yellow plug. You plug into there either that special cable you need for the iPhones, or you plug in your navigation system. I've got mine plugged into navigation because I don't have an iPhone. The app sound mixing, not even sure what that is. I'm sure it's a feature only included on the iPhones as of now. Mix track setup, basically what they call it is turning your head unit into a DJ. Basically what it does is it mixes all the songs that are on your MP3 or in your iPod or on your iPhone or this and that, and it fades out each song and then fades in the next song as you go, kind of like, I guess, like a DJ would at a wedding or what have you. Picture adjustment, not sure what that does, haven't messed around with it. System language, pretty self-explanatory. English, there's maybe 24 languages built into the device. Demo mode I've got off because it's not in a store. Mute, you can actually turn the mute to -20 dB or -10 dB or off. Right now I've got mine set to full mute, so you press the mute button and everybody shuts up. Rear speaker, not even sure what that does, haven't messed around with it. Keyboard, that's self-explanatory as well. When you go into different options, there are certain areas that you have to be able to read or not read. Ever scroll, not sure what that is either yet. Pandora Connect mode, there are 2 options, Bluetooth and wired. The wired version for my phone is not acceptable. For the iPhone, or not applicable. For the iPhones, you can actually hook it up through either your Lightning cable or your 30-pin cable. Bluetooth audio I've got set to on. That's so I can play music and Pandora through the Bluetooth through the head unit. Bluetooth memory clear, that's of course getting rid of any of the Bluetooth devices you have hooked up. Bluetooth software update, that's self-explanatory. Bluetooth version info, not important. Get back to where we were. Camera polarity. There are three options: off, battery, and ground. I've got mine actually set up for battery, so that when I put the vehicle in reverse, it sends the signal from the head unit out to the system. It recognizes that I'm in reverse, and then it kicks the camera on. No matter what window you're in, it'll automatically kick the camera on. The camera I've got is not a super high quality camera. I didn't need it for anything more than right here is my trailer hitch. When I back up to the boat, I like to be able to get it first try every time. Back out of the reverse mode. Get back into our settings again. Underneath the camera polarity, you've got your auto EQ measurement. Again, you would need the microphone, a separately sold microphone, in order to set that up. And then video signal setting. That's for if you're running an alternate AV unit. Theme. For the background, you can change the background, this physical background here. I think there are 8 presets. 5, 6, 7 presets. If you had a USB thumb drive, you can plug it into your USB cable and actually pull photos off of that in order to load into your head unit. And then of course you can turn the background off. There's only one in here that I thought was not super cheesy, but it is still kind of cheesy, but I ran it anyway. Illumination. I'm not going to mess with this one right now because I've got it set up to exactly where I want it, but if you go into this, you can do any of these 5 standard colors: red, orange, green, blue, and white. Underneath the this other option, it took me a while to get, you can barely tell in this view, but this light right here matches almost identically to the lettering on the front of the head unit. But this is a slide scale, you can move it left or right to fine tune it. Also the screen, you can change the screen color. These are the different options that, there's 5 of them, blue, and then like a grayish white. Again, I'm going back to orange just so it's as close to the rest of the stock lights in the dashboard. And get back out of here. Settings. That was in your theme. Favorites. Right now I have no favorites set up. You can set up certain things throughout the menu. Like I'll show you here. All these stars that are all unhighlighted right now, you can actually click on those, and then every time you would hit your star button, it'll bring you to those options and you can make quick changes to them. Again, I'm not interested in any of those right yet. Haven't messed around with the thing enough yet to get used to it. And then your Bluetooth, click on Bluetooth and it gives you all your connection settings. Next to the home button, you got the mode button. My vehicle, I've got the AVIC-U250, and so I've got the GPS capabilities. All of the new double-din Pioneer head units. No, I'm not going to say all of them. Majority of them are GPS ready, they call it. You need the AVIC-U250 in order to accomplish any GPS activities. And of course this works just as a regular GPS. We just got to get used to the different menus. Hit the mode button, go back to the radio again. You've got your track up, track down. If you've already got presets set in, when you hit track down, it's going to scroll through your presets. And then if you hold it down and then let it go, it scans. So last option is your eject button. Press eject, you're going to get a window pops up with 4 options. All the way to the right is to close this. It'll bring you back to the radio. The one next to that, you can see it looks like this is the head unit, and then you can actually change the angle of the screen. And there are 5 different settings. And then this one will bring you back to 3, 4, 5. Last option is the disc. Press the disc, the whole face slides out of the way, and your disc pops out. Just to save time, I'm not going to put the disc back in, but as soon as you slide it back in, it'll start reading the disc, and that's when it takes about 20 to 30 seconds for everything to start. In the event you do not want to put the disc back in, all the way to the right, you just press the eject button again, and the head unit will slide back into position. That's just about it. I think I covered everything. Got the GPS, got the backup camera, got a majority of the features. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I've got all this installed right now in a Nissan Titan 2010 Crewcab SE. In the event you're hooking us up in an SE, Titan 0. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.